Before the chaos unfolds, here's what you're about to witness. A routine day inside a bank suddenly turns into a full-blown fraud investigation, and it all starts with one suspicious check. What looks like a simple transaction quickly spirals into a high-stakes situation involving identity theft, forged documents, and a suspect who claims she had no idea what she was walking into. But here's the twist. The real account holder is over 1,000 miles away, already reporting fraud at the exact same time. So the question is this woman an innocent middleman or a willing participant in a much bigger scam? And more importantly, what happens when the evidence starts stacking up against her? Stay locked in, because every second of this footage reveals something new. And by the end, you'll have to decide for yourself. Was this ignorance or intent?
Okay. Come on. We'll get it. I'll get it. So right now you're just being detained. You're not under arrest until I do my investigation, okay? 3 Alpha 2 3, 1 Black King, everything. Do you have all her ID and all that?
Her ID, her debit card is also here.
Yeah, so is the person who is the actual victim, my brothers,
They're up in Pennsylvania with their branch.
and they don't know who this is. You guys? Okay. Alrighty. Well, if I need anything else, you know what? Who called us?
The manager.
She'll be right up. She's coming.
Alright. Thought it was you.
You got 2 heroines here.
I just need a name for the complainant. Perfect, and then I'll use the bank address and everything else, just basically saying you're the complainant, and we'll figure out. Yeah. Yeah. So, alrighty. Well, if I need anything else from you, like the victim's actual stuff, like all I need. In Pennsylvania, but I know they would have to be the victim technically, you know what I mean? Because you guys don't lose money; it's them losing the money. Yes, I understand that. So I may end up. I'm gonna get with somebody who's a little bit better at this 50 embezzlement and fraud stuff than I am. He's on his way, so I'll talk to him. I may have to come back in and talk to you and get a statement from her. I'm guessing, which I will probably have to get a statement from you.
We're good.
Alrighty, I'll be back. Perfect. You're welcome.
Man, were you the one dealing with the check?
Yeah, this was the check. Those are the IDs she presented. And the check clearly is forged.
Okay, would we be able to get their? I need their phone number to contact
I will
them.
get you that.
Okay, yeah.
let
When
me
you're
have
done.
that. Let me have that and I'll give it to you.
And real quick, how do you know that it's clearly forged? What?
Well, it looked funny to begin with,
Uh-huh.
and we called the customer, and as she was standing here, they were already in a TD Bank in Pennsylvania because they knew their account was compromised.
Did they mention how they knew or no?
Probably somebody else
Cashed another check?
cashed
Okay.
another check.
Okay.
But I'll be able to see it.
Okay, we'll be out there. I'll be back in a few minutes. Just have you finish up here, and thank you.
Thank you. Okay. So the 215 is the one she contacted.
Okay.
So Giselle is the one that caught it. So if you have any questions,
Okay.
she'll be able
What was your involvement? Were you just they told
I
you?
called, well, yes, they came up to me.
Okay.
So, but she's the one that was
Okay.
given the check,
Okay.
and she was the one that determined that it was no good, and Danette called the customer.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Which one was
215. So I'll give them a quick call and just see if they want to press charges, and then I'll have her call. Possibly. We don't know yet. So did they? You spoke with them on the phone?
Yes.
Did they say how?
So,
Because they were already at a TD in
I
Pennsylvania.
called, I told him who I was, I told him where I was. She literally goes, stop. I'm at my branch with the store manager. She puts the store manager, I think her name is Tina, something. And the store manager tells me she's currently on the phone with Flo. So I don't know if they've had other checks trying to go through. And they are, because she knew the exact account number it was drawn off. She said, is it ending in 95 or something, right?
Yeah.
So I said yes. So they were already kind of aware.
So they probably have multiple.
It's
Yeah.
probably already been compromised and they're trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
She also has a password on her account, which probably tipped off the seller. So, yeah.
$4,700. I'm gonna call them and see if they want to press charges, and then I'm gonna have Herb call and do it. Talk to them. I'm not doing that. And I guess I can talk to them. I don't know. Get a sworn from them or no?
Yeah. Whoever was dealing with her.
Yeah.
Do you want to do that while I call them and see if they want to press charges?
Yeah, sure.
Her name is Gladys.
Can you just take this down? I'm gonna do this too.
Sandy. Oh, the other girl's name is Gladys. Sandy.
Yeah, Sandy. Can I do a statement? Yeah, I'm gonna need both of you at one point. Can I do a statement with you real quick?
Yeah, she's gonna let you grab her.
Yeah. It'll take like 2 minutes. Yeah, do you have your ID on you? Yes. All right, real quick. Please raise your right hand and state your first and last name. And what you're about to tell me is the truth, nothing but the truth.
Yes.
Okay, put your hand out. So today, you were approached by, do you remember her name at all or no?
Gladys, I believe it is.
Okay, it's similar. So is that this is what you guys provided, the bank provided to me, is that what was given to you, these items? Okay, so she handed you the check, she handed you her ID and the credit card as well, or was it?
She handed me her ID, and then I said I need a second form because she's not a customer.
Okay.
So that's when she gave me her debit.
Okay, so what red flags kind of?
So it was the amount at first because for one we had to make sure we have it. So I double checked it, and then when I went to look at the signature looked like it was done by someone else. Like if somebody tried to forge it.
Okay.
And then I looked at other checks that came in, and I saw that the date was written differently, that the way that they write the amount was written differently. And then I brought it up to one of customer service reps up here, and then he told me to go to someone else, and then Danette, which is the one you just spoke to, she ended up taking it, and then she looked at it. She decided to call the customer, and the customer, that's her part, where the customer told her to stop.
Okay. Now, did the check itself look fraudulent, like the paper, or is it?
I didn't even feel off about it.
Okay.
It was just small little details that kind of threw me
Yeah.
off.
But the biggest red flag for you was the amount, and then how things were written. You were able to pull up previous checks and compare the two. Mm-hmm. Okay.
The twos were written differently, and usually in between, like the actual number and the change, they put and. That and was not in there.
Okay.
The H's are written differently. The D was written differently, and that signature just.
Okay.
Sometimes I can tell when it's trying to be written by someone.
Okay. Did you did she talk to you about any? Like, did you guys have any conversation? Just that here you go and okay. So she didn't state how she got the check. She didn't state anything about. Okay.
She told me she spoke Spanish, so I didn't really try to get any conversation in.
Okay. And real quick, when you guys go through like training for the job, do you like they teach you how to look out for stuff like this?
Yes.
Okay. So that is part of your training working here at TD Bank. Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to add from the? Okay. All right. I'm gonna be muting for a side note. Completion of the witness interview. Okay. Okay. Please raise your right hand. Say your first and last name.
Say that.
And do you solemnly swear to tell nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, put your hand down. Okay, so today, how did all this begin? Were you approached by another employee or?
Yes.
Okay.
She's up front. Other teller is also with her. They have a full line.
Okay.
She reached out to the banker because the assistant manager, store manager were on break. I'm in the back. I'm like the oldest teller here, so she comes over. She says, "I just need a second pair of eyes." We look it up. I look at the handwriting. It's almost perfect. The signature like looks stamped on or printed on. So we normally don't call our customers. We're not like supposed to.
Yeah.
But it's from Pennsylvania, so I called.
Yeah.
Immediately had a conversation. Project. So
Okay, and see, so when you called the customer in Pennsylvania, they said that they were already at the
they're
bank.
in their local branch.
Okay, so they were aware that their account was somehow compromised. And you also said that there was a password on it from before.
She has a password on it,
Okay.
but the account's been open for a while, so they have multiple accounts with
Okay.
pretty decent balances.
Okay.
And they seem a little older, so they tend to have passwords on it.
Okay. Is this the first time at this location that you know of that someone's tried to cash a check from that?
For that account, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see, what else is there? Okay, and did you ever talk to the person, the woman in question?
No.
Okay.
The person you guys arrested?
Yes.
No.
Okay. Did your fellow employee show you the check and show you the IDs and stuff as well?
Yes.
So
she handed me the check. I was grabbing coins, which is a little lower. She
Yeah.
hands me the check. I took the check to the back.
So does it look similar to what's printed on this page? Does this look like a pretty accurate representation of the IDs and the check itself? Okay. All right. Okay, and are you the only one that spoke to them? They said that they didn't give anyone the authority to use the account, that it's definitely, there's no
Yes.
one in Florida that should be
Yeah.
using that check.
Yeah, they're still in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And I was the only employee that spoke to the customer.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to add to the statement? Okay. Nothing, yeah, that's pretty straightforward. All right. Completion of the statements. I'll be turning my camera off momentarily.
Oh, hello, guys.
Hi there.
Amazing. Do you guys have your IDs on you by chance?
Yeah. Yes.
Can you just show that on the screen for me?
Alright, you just need me to hold it up?
That's perfect. And then what I'm going to have you do after that, that's good. What I'm going to have you do after that is take photos of both your IDs and send them to me through text message, okay?
Okay. Yep.
And then this number's good for both of you guys, the 445 number?
I have a separate cell, but...
Yeah, we might as well use yours since it was your...
I mean, it doesn't matter.
I guess it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Do you want mine as well? Would it help to have mine?
Or is it easier to have one? Either one's fine.
One's fine. I'll just take the one.
Okay.
So I'm going to have one of you guys raise your right hand for me. Everything you're about to tell me is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, correct.
Yes.
Alrighty, can you guys tell me what happened, like the incident, what you guys had on your end?
I got a call this morning from TD Branch Bank in Charleston, South Carolina, telling me that someone had called pretending to be me, but she was a little suspicious because, why is she calling a branch in Charleston when I live in Pennsylvania near Philadelphia?
Yeah.
She suggested I go immediately to my TD Bank local branch, because she suspected fraud. So on my way to my local branch, I got another call from Ipswich, Massachusetts TD branch saying that there was a similar phishing call there from a woman claiming to be me. And then when I was actually working with the TD branch local bank manager to close the account, I got a call from the West Palm Beach TD Bank saying there was someone there trying to cash a $4,000 check. So the branch manager there said, absolutely not, that's a fraud, call the police. I have Sandy sitting right in front of me. This is not that person in West Palm Beach, is not her. though, that's when the police were called and they stopped payment. They didn't stop payment. They actually, the checking account is closed. We think what happened is this person had access to a check that I wrote to Citi cards for payment of a credit card.
Okay.
And so she had, I'm assuming it was a she. I think she was said it was a she. I hope it was a she. But that person had my full Social Security, my full checking account number, my birth date, my address, and was pretending to be me calling. My branch manager said that she called 7 different bank branches trying to like fish for information like account balance and stuff like that.
Okay.
So that's about all we know about it. So TD Bank called their fraud division and they, closed the account. My husband came over and we did that.
Okay, so just to confirm that you got a call from the South Carolina TD Bank saying somebody called in as you.
Right.
This is your bank information?
Called same thing. And the person at Ipswich, Massachusetts said that there were notes on my account that 7 different bank branches had been called by this person.
Oh, and then, so just to confirm, it is your bank information, correct?
It is mine. It was my account.
Okay, and just to confirm, you guys do want to prosecute?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we'd like to stop this from happening.
Yeah, I don't want this to happen to anyone else.
Okay, go ahead, raise your right hand for me. Everything you just told me is the whole truth, nothing but the... Everything you just told me is the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
So help us God. It is.
Yes.
Cool. So, yeah, we're going to question the person next and figure everything out. But
okay.
she had a fake check with your guys' names on it, so... The next thing I do ask for you guys is to send me a picture of both your driver's license.
Okay.
And you can send it straight to this number. This is my work phone. So, and then I'll text you the case number, just so you guys can have it. And then I'll text you like a website or a number you can call to get it as well.
Okay.
But you just let me do my thing and I'll get it all to you.
Okay.
But
your name again?
Deputy Sheriff Herb.
Nice.
HERB. I'll send my info as well. But yeah, as soon as you guys can, send me a photo of your IDs, please.
All right, we'll do that right now.
Alrighty, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye bye.
We appreciate your help.
Thank you.
Yep.
Take it.
Who's Kayla? Yeah, Kayla. You don't know you have all of our credit cards and our ID? Thanks. That's definitely the original girl.
¿Cómo está? ¿Cuál es su nombre? Ok, mira, él va a querer hablar contigo y quiero hablarte de sus derechos, a ver si quieres hablar con nosotros. Sí. Ok, te tengo que hablar de sus derechos. Okay, so I just explained to her. I'm here to translate everything. She may not understand. They're going to want to speak with her. I'm here to translate everything if she's willing to speak with us and hear her rights, and she said yes. Ok, tengo que leer sus derechos, ok. Estoy obligado a prevenirle antes de que usted haga algún relato, declare de que usted tiene los siguientes derechos constitucionales. Usted tiene derecho a quedarse callado, silencioso y no contestar cualquier pregunta, ¿entiendes? Cualquier otra opción que usted haga, debe seguir o debe ¿entiendes? Usted tiene derecho de presentar abogados de preferencia, usted se va a poner a declarar y cualquier información, ¿entiendes? Si usted no tiene medios de proporcionarse con servicios de abogado, tiene derecho a presentar abogados por la corte antes de que se haga una declaración y cualquier información, ¿entiendes? Si algún momento no deseas contestar una pregunta, usted se quedarse callado, silencioso, ¿entiendes? No puedo parecer condenado por persuadir o impedir que haga su declaración, entonces por su propia cuenta y voluntad, ¿entiendes? ¿Por qué no declaración puede ser usada por usted para leyes? ¿Usted tiene sus derechos? She understands her rights. She's willing to talk. ¿Usted quiere hablar con nosotros?
Sí, yo vine con...
Yes.
Yeah. Él te quiere hacer más preguntas, ¿ok?
Where did the check come from?
¿De dónde vino el cheque ese?
Un amigo me lo dio. Él me dijo si yo lo ponía, que él me iba a dar una parte de dinero. Y yo le escribí, yo tengo los mensajes y todo. Yo le dije, pero no me meto en ningún problema con la policía ni nada. Y él me dijo que no, eso no afectaba nada, que eso era un cheque normal.
No, so she says that she was given to it by a friend who asked her to cash it for him, and he would give her a portion of the money, And she asked him if she's like, I don't want any trouble with the police. And she said that the person told her she wasn't going to have any issues, that it was a good check.
Who is that friend?
She said she has messages as well. ¿Quién es el amigo?
Ray, se llama Ray.
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 No sabes más.
No,
Ray.
completo no lo sé.
Just Ray.
Just Ray?
Yeah, Ray.
Sorry, I'm just taking notes. Can you ask her where the bag came from that she was holding? She was holding a bag.
Usted tenía como una java.
Sí,
¿De dónde vino la java?
esa era la cartera de la muchacha que estaba con nosotros en el carro y la que ella me la dio. Por eso es que está su ID ahí, solamente el que es mío es el monedero chiquitico, el que tiene como un pompón negro.
Okay. So she said that that's the person's female's bag that was in the car with her. The only thing in there that's hers is a black small wallet with a black puff on it, or pompon, she said.
Okay. Who is Kayla?
¿Quién es Kayla?
Ella es la que me enseñaron en el ID, yo no la conozco a ella, yo nunca la había visto a ella. La primera vez que yo la vi a ella fue cuando me fueron a buscar a mi casa hoy. Yo no la
¿Te
conozco.
enseñaron el ID de ella?
Sí.
¿Quién?
El policía, él primero me preguntó que quién era Kayla, yo le dije que no sabía, pero cuando me enseñó la foto, él me cerró la foto en la cara. Entonces yo llamé a ese policía, a él, y le dije, mira, ella es la que estaba en el carro con nosotros, porque fue cuando vi la foto. Porque yo no la conozco.
She didn't know who she was, but she was one of the ones in the car with her. Once she said one of you guys showed her a photo.
So what did she do when she got here, if you mind asking? Like, would she walk in the bank, and then what did she do from there?
¿Qué fue lo que usted hizo cuando llegaste aquí?
Yo nomás entré ahí y dije la que quería el dinero de cheque normal, porque ahí para sacar el cheque.
She said she just got here, went to the bank, and just went to get the check.
Who'd she get the check to?
¿A quién le diste el cheque?
A la muchacha que estaba atendiendo ahí no sé cómo se llama, pero era una muchacha.
She said a female that was tending to it inside.
Okay. I'm just trying to think if there's any other questions. After you handed her the check, what'd she tell? Like, what'd she say to you? Like, what were the next steps?
¿Qué? Cuando tú le diste el cheque, ¿qué fue lo que ella te dijo? ¿Qué fue lo que ella hizo?
Nada, que lo iba a verificar a ver si estaba bien, y ya lo dijo que ok. Y ya ella siguió, copió, me dio el ID de nuevo, y después volvió a verificar y me volvió a quitar el ID.
Okay, so she said that she was going to verify the check, gave her back the ID, then came back, took the ID back, and verifying the check again, I guess.
Did she know that the check wasn't hers or any of her friends?
¿Usted sabía que el cheque no era tuyo? ¿Ni de tu amigo?
Él solamente me dijo, no puedes sacar este cheque, yo te voy a dar un poco de dinero de él.
No, she said he gave her the check and told her to cash it, and that he would give her some of the money. That's all she did.
So the friend told her that, here, cash this check for me. That's what she told you, and then she'd get some of the money? All right. Did she see how much the check was for?
¿Usted se fijaste por cuánto era el cheque?
Sí, era como $4,000.
$4,000, something like that.
I had a question now. It's completely gone. You didn't ask your friend about the check at all, where he got it from?
Tú le preguntaste a los amigos de dónde vino el cheque.
Él me dijo que era como un reembolso de una casa, algo así, era como un reembolso de un dinero de una casa, algo así. Él me dijo.
She said he told her it was some sort of reimbursement from a house or something like that.
Did she know that the purse was? Did I ask that? She knew the purse wasn't hers. Like, did she take it, or did Kayla hand it to her?
¿Usted sabía que la cartera no era tuya? ¿Tú le llevaste o Kayla te lo dio?
No, ella me lo dio. Ella me dijo, no, coge la cartera para que eches el dinero ahí, porque yo solamente tenía un monedero chiquitito.
Okay. So she said, no, take the purse so you can put the money in, because she only had a small wallet with her.
All right. Well, that's it.
Kayla handed it to her. So.
Yeah, you can inform her that she is going to jail, unfortunately.
Okay, bueno, ya ellos concluyeron su investigación, usted va a tener que ir a arrestar. Correcto. ¿Tienes alguna pregunta?
Can you ask her if she's the one that signed the check?
¿Usted fuiste que firmaste el cheque o no?
Sí, ahí adentro en el cofre me dijeron que lo firmara y lo firmé.
Yeah, she said in there. She signed it.
She signed it in there?
Yeah, they told her to sign it. She did. She said.
Okay.
¿Tienes alguna pregunta?
Sí,
Any questions for us?
voy a ir a prisión ahora, pero ¿cuándo voy a salir? ¿O cómo?
Eso depende, okay? She said she's asking, she's going to arrest him now, she's going to jail. She's asking what's next.
We just gotta get
First
paperwork
appearance.
done.
Él va a terminar los papeles, que va a tener que llevar. Lo que va a pasar ahora, I'll just explain to her first appearance. Usted va a ver, seguro que va a haber un juez por la mañana. Si usted no tiene pasado arresto, cada caso es diferente, pero seguro que te va a soltar. Puedes coger una llamada para que alguien que te viene a recoger, una fecha de corte y vas a tener que aparecer después. Si no aparece, te saca una orden de arresto. Entonces tienes que aparecer y cooperar con eso.
This case escalates from what initially appears to be a relatively controlled investigative stop into a highly volatile and physically confrontational situation. At the core of the incident is an officer responding to a reported battery, attempting to establish identities and gather compliance from individuals involved. However, what should have been a straightforward interaction quickly becomes complicated due to resistance, lack of cooperation, and rising tensions between the parties involved. From a legal standpoint, one of the first critical elements here is lawful authority. The officer clearly states that they are involved in an active criminal investigation related to battery. In such scenarios, individuals are generally required to provide identification in many jurisdictions, especially when there is reasonable suspicion. The refusal to comply, combined with argumentative behavior, already begins to shift the situation from voluntary interaction into enforcement mode. The turning point occurs when the individual refuses to comply and physically resists detention. At that moment, the officer transitions from a request for cooperation to a lawful detention attempt. Resistance to lawful detention can elevate the situation to resisting arrest, and once force is introduced, especially when the individual allegedly kicks, struggles, and attempts to trip the officer, it significantly strengthens the basis for additional charges. This is where what began as a simple identification check evolves into resisting arrest with violence. Emotionally, this encounter is highly charged. You can hear frustration from both sides, with the officer attempting to maintain control and the individual escalating through verbal defiance and physical resistance. One particularly notable aspect is the contradiction in behavior. Initial claims of confusion or lack of involvement quickly give way to aggressive resistance. This kind of inconsistency often plays a critical role in how incidents are evaluated later in investigations. Another important dimension is the presence of witnesses and third-party individuals. A witness who identifies themselves as a doctor provides a neutral perspective, confirming they observed parts of the interaction but did not intervene. Witness testimony in cases like this can become crucial in establishing the sequence of events, especially when multiple parties present differing accounts. As the situation progresses, we also see how quickly law enforcement must adapt to evolving threats. What begins as a routine identification request escalates into a physical altercation, requiring backup, restraint techniques, and eventual detention. The officer's decision-making under pressure, transitioning from verbal commands to physical control, reflects standard escalation protocols used in law enforcement when compliance fails. By the end of the incident, the individual is charged with multiple offenses, including battery, threatening a public servant, and resisting arrest with violence. These charges reflect both the initial alleged offense and the subsequent conduct during the interaction. Legally, this highlights how actions taken during an encounter can compound consequences significantly. Even if the initial allegation were minor, these resistance and assault on an officer can introduce far more serious implications. The broader takeaway from this case is the importance of compliance during lawful investigations. While individuals retain rights, including the right to remain silent, physical resistance and obstruction can quickly shift a situation into criminal liability. From a procedural standpoint, officers are trained to de-escalate, but when cooperation is not present, They are authorized to escalate enforcement measures to maintain safety and control. So the big question for viewers is this: could this entire situation have been avoided with basic cooperation, or did the circumstances inevitably lead to confrontation? And where do you personally draw the line between asserting your rights and complying for safety? If you found this case as shocking as we did, so make sure to hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more jaw-dropping courtroom breakdowns.